Rodriguez, you're watching Noise 11.
And we welcome into noise11.com Rodriguez.
Thank you, Paul.
It's great to have you back in Australia.
I'm happy to be here.
It's been many times. In fact, I saw you on the first time out here. It would have been around 79.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we've seen a few shows over the years, and it's good to have you down here again.
Thank you very much.
One of those shows was with Midnight Oil, and it's interesting that on this tour you are also performing with The Break.
The Break.
Who are mainly most of the guys from Midnight Oil, plus Brian Ritchie from The Violent Femmes.
Yes, three of the members of Midnight Oil are on board. Yeah, and I'm very happy to be among them. They're top of the world, kind of musicians. Yeah.
That was a great time when you were touring Australia with Midnight Oil, because of course they went on to really big things in America after that.
Well, yeah, the meeting with Midnight Oil was in 1981 at a place called Tantalorn, and I met them there, and they were on their, I was on my own tour, and we met at Tantalorn. There's 20 top Australian bands. Men at Work was there. Moving Pictures was there. Billy Thorpe, rest in peace, was there. There was Midnight Oil, of course. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a great time, and then it was just one of those 20 top Australian bands type of thing.
Yeah. So did you keep up a relationship with them, or was that renewed for this tour?
Yeah, I just yes, for this tour it was. We did a show in New Zealand, and then we with a different band, and so now we have The Break that I'm touring with.
Fantastic.
I'm a single. I'm a solo, and so I hook up with a lot of bands. I've got about a dozen bands around the world. They're all great musicians. So
yeah, it's a good backing band you have there.
Yes, you can't miss with this.
Yeah, and of course the big news that made very high profile news for you over the last 12 months has been Searching for the Sugar Man, the movie.
The film, yes. It's Malik Benjelou's film, Searching for Sugar Man. It's won the Oscar and about 29 other awards. And the thing is, and I didn't have anything to do with the making of the film. I always want to make that point because I didn't choose who he interviewed, where he went, or what they said, anything like that. I'm in the film 8 minutes, so that's my part of it. And he came to Detroit 6 times, once in February, so I realized that, he's a serious guy, and he's a self-made director. First film, that he's won out of all these entries to the Sundance Film Festival in Utah. It's pretty amazing.
Mm. How did you take the news that you were dead when they told you?
Yeah, at times I might have felt like that, but no. And I wasn't lost. I knew exactly where I was. Those rumors that were persisted, I didn't have anything to do with those either.
Mm-hmm. Because you were having so much success in various parts of the world, including Australia. Mm-hmm. I don't understand how in South Africa they could have even thought that you were alive anymore.
Again, I just in explaining this film, I didn't have anything to do with it. That he omitted 79 and 81 of Australia is his choice. He said, I don't kind of let. Get involved with film. I don't know anything about that, but I knew that it's his film, and it's a great film. But I'm just saying I didn't. He knew about it. He didn't want to put it in there. He knows about other parts of that, but he didn't pursue any particular part of it. He gave the whole story in an hour and such minutes. I don't know, but like that, it was his choice. He made the film. Yeah.
Mm. Now I recall when we first started to hear you on the Australian radio. It would have been in the 70s, yes. And it was an Australian DJ called Holger
Brockman. He's a hero in my life in that he played me after midnight on his 3 Triple J.
It was 2 Double J back
2
in those
Double
days.
J. Thank you.
It was an AM radio station,
yes,
and it's now the FM station 3 Triple J. Yeah.
Oh, right. So like this, and that's a new idea, then etc. So so as the promoters heard about it, they felt I could fill the rooms up, and we played 2,000 seaters and did 15 concerts here.
So when you came to Australia that first time, had you actually retired from the music industry, and this was a bit of a comeback?
Yes, it was then, and at that point I thought that was the highlight. I had toured Australia twice, and I just basically went back to work, kind of thing. So,
You'd had the 2 albums,
yes,
at that point.
Yes.
Why haven't there been any more?
Oh, why? Well, it wasn't happening. I did pretty good with those. I thought that was pretty much the lifespan of my entry into music. But it changed in '98 when I toured South Africa, which is initially where they brought the bootleg records from. And but there's also a lot of licensed product out there and here, and I've noticed it now when I sign the albums that there's a lot of product still.
Mm. Do you still write songs?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, Paul, I do. I think any musician writes new stuff, new riffs. They don't play the same chord, hold one note all night. It's like that. I go on beyond that. There's a lot of subject to write about. There's a lot of same things that are happening today. Police brutality, government repression, and those kinds of things. So I there's plenty to write about.
So in 30 years since those two records,
Yes.
Not a lot has changed in the world, has it?
Well, those larger issues, unfortunately not. But it's more 40 years.
Yes.
To be correct. As you're trying to correct, I'm trying to correct.
I'm trying to shave a few years off myself here too, Rodriguez.
You're looking great. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So are there plans to record a new record for you?
Well, yeah, but right now we got so many commitments. We got till June. We're going to do a Glastonbury in London. We're going to do a Coachella in California. We're going to do the Primavera in Spain. And these are bookings, and I've already I have these obligations and that I've already want to do, and so your commitment. So I get to fill those, and then I'm freer as a person to probably get in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
On the two records, there was a credited name, Mike Theodore.
Yes.
Can you explain who Mike was?
Oh, well, Mike Theodore and Dennis Coffey were the producers of the Colfax album. So that was in 1969, in the last century kind of thing, and that's when. And so the 70 album was Steve Rowland. He was the producer of that one. So those are the people who produced me, my first two albums. Yeah.
Coming From Reality was
So
recorded.
that's where Mike Theodore fits into that kind of category.
Okay. Coming From Reality was done a bit in London.
London, England. Let's see. It was. We have 4 violin sections in that: cellos, violas, a harp, a Stradivarius is on that single guitar against the Stradivarius. It's so we had that's a fuller production. The first album is for piece bands kind of.
Mm.
They have little nuances of other things, marimbas and that, but I didn't have anything to do with the production of that as well. I pretty much let myself be shaped by people around me up to a point.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever hear the Nas version?
Yes, I
of your
did,
sample?
and he's so poetic. His stuff is it's a barrage of poetry, and so I enjoy that they take the stuff and I'm very much just a few words in there too. So it's okay with me, and I've heard it, and it's a beautiful poetry. Yeah.
And I guess it's another opportunity for younger people to be introduced to your music when you sample like that.
I call them young bloods. Yeah, I realize these are 40-year-old songs, but music is a living art in that it creates itself that night. And so with the break that I'm playing with, they redo it, and it's and even go beyond it and do other things new to it. So it's an exciting profession, music.
When you finish the touring for 2013, I think the movie portrayed you as going to work each day. And
oh yeah, that's.
Will you do that again?
Will I do that again? No, the film Climax is '98.
Mm-hmm.
I met the director in 2008. I got reissued in 2008. So every 10 years, possibly, they rediscover me or something. But it was through the internet that initially I got through, and so it's through that successful technology and now it's the film that's excited my music career, and it's yeah.
Hmm. Well, I must admit, it's a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh
after
well,
these
thank
years.
you. That was short. Well, any more questions? I'm happy to answer you because I'm happy to interview. Thank you for the opportunity.
That's all right. Can you tell us how many unreleased songs? How many unreleased songs do you have?
Oh yeah, I don't have a big catalog. No, I liked it to be fresh. I don't like to say I've written. I liked it to be current. I don't want I'm not working on things and then reissuing them or anything like that. I want the material to be fresh. So that's why whenever we're ready with a producer, and I've talked to David Holmes, and I've also talked to Steve Rowland and that kind of idea. But I would want it to be fresh in that, like that. So that's what I'm trying to do. I don't have a big catalog right now. I've written about 30 songs only, and like that.
Only 3.
Only 30.
30.
30.
30 new songs.
30.
Right.
I got 30 songs I've written.
Yeah.
I don't have any material that I've got on paper for a song. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's I leave it open. Yeah.
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 Well, please go into the studio, record a new
well,
album.
thank
The
you,
fans
Paul.
will like to hear a third album.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the thoughts.
And thank you for joining us here at Noise
Yes, sir.
11. Thank you.